Alright guys, today we're going to not be talking about Madden 22 actually. We're going to be talking about the actual NFL today. I know it's a shocker, isn't it? We're in the midst of Madden 22 news, and we're not talking Madden 22 news. Because there was something that the NFL released a few days ago now at this point that I wanted to talk about when they actually released it, but that was around the time where all the Madden 22 news first came out, all the franchise news, all the trailers, all that stuff. And I wanted to react to that because I felt like that was more important. That was more must get out to you guys content than what we're going to be talking about today. And today is a little bit of a slower day, at least from what I've seen. And so I figured, why not talk about this topic today? So without further ado, that topic is the NFL a couple of days ago, probably a few days ago at this point, made it official that they are going to be allowing NFL teams to bring back alternate helmets and alternate jerseys for the 2022 season. Not this upcoming season. They won't be for the 2021 season. But once this season's over, we get through the off season, and then in 2022, for the 2022 season, that's when these jerseys and uniforms and helmets will all be allowed. And this is a huge, massive W because old uniforms are awesome. Like, they have such a nostalgia piece. They have such a freshness to them. They bring some new faces into the fandom. They bring back old fans who may not have watched. Yes, there are some uniforms that are a little bit ugly, but there are some pretty fire alternate uniforms, pretty fire retro uniforms. Just to name a few, everybody knows that I love the early 90s, 80s, even into the 2000s version of the Buffalo Bills uniforms with the red helmet and the blue bill, and then the blue jerseys, the darker blue jerseys, and those jerseys are absolutely fire. I love those jerseys. I hope they bring those back. Those jerseys are amazing. Another one that I love are the old school Seahawks uniforms with the silver helmet and the light blue Seahawk, the Shaun Alexander version. I like those ones. Well, that's not really the Shaun Alexander version. That's more the Steve Largent Seahawks. I'm talking more. It's more of the ones that I like are more the ones that I grew up with when they were in these uniforms, which are the Shaun Alexander ones. They still have the silver helmet and the blue Seahawk, but I don't know if it was light blue or not. I can't remember exactly. But just go look up Shaun Alexander and you'll know the jersey that I'm talking about. If I remember, I'll put up a picture of the jerseys that I'm talking about so you guys can get kind of an idea of some of the jerseys that I would like to see bringing back. Another one would be the Atlanta Falcons Dirty Birds. I love those ones, the Deion Sanders ones, even with the red helmets. I like the red helmet ones. I think those are the Dirty Bird ones. But in my head, I'm thinking of the all black ones. And they've kind of brought those back a little bit with their rebrand that they've done with the ATL all over the place. But I'm talking they could either bring back the red helmets with the black Falcon in the middle of it, or they could bring back the all blacks. Both of those, either one would be great option. So I'll probably put, if I remember in editing, I'll probably put both of those pictures up if I can remember. This is all if I remember. Just future juice, editor juice. Remember this, okay? Remember this conversation. So there are a few. I do like the Giants Lawrence Taylor jerseys and helmets. Those ones are pretty good. I think they've actually brought those back on occasion. The one with just the script Giants on the helmet. I like those ones a lot. I think they've brought those back. I don't know. I can't remember. I can't be sure if they actually have or not. Just to name a couple more. Obviously, I'm a Patriots fan, so I would love to see them bring back the Patriot. I forget what they name it. I think it's like Pat the Patriot or something like that. Where he's the actual guy and he's like kneeling or he's bending over like hiking the football or whatever. That's the helmet that I would like to see the Patriots bring back. I think that's just a classic helmet. It's pretty clean too. Another one would probably be, I've always been a fan of the John Elway, like the Bronco that's in the D on the helmet, the light blue helmets and the orange uniforms. I've always been a fan of those ones. I always think those look pretty cool. So I would be happy if they brought those back. Let me try to think of some other teams with some retro uniforms that I would like to see brought back. I have heard that the Oilers are going to be brought back, the uniforms for the Oilers. I don't think it's going to be part of this 2022 thing. I think maybe it might be. It could be. I might be just like making stuff up here. But I thought it was going to be this season, the 2021 season. I'm not 100% sure. It could very well be this season and next season, or it could just be next season. I don't know. But I think the team that's claiming them is the Tennessee Titans, because if you do not know, the Titans were the Oilers back when the Oilers were in the league. Then they moved to Tennessee, became the Titans, and then in the 2000s, the Texans were brought in as expansion, the Houston Texans. So a lot of people are a little bit upset, or maybe not just upset, but more confused, because you already have a team in Houston. Why not just give them the Oilers identity and give them the Oilers jerseys, because they're already in Houston? But I understand why they would give them to the Titans, because the Titans were the Oilers. They have that history. They have that franchise in their franchise, because they were the Oilers. They just rebranded. And so it's a toss-up, really, like who you would give it to. I would give it probably more towards the Titans, because the Titans are the Oilers, technically. And yeah, it is weird that the Texans are in Houston and they actually play. It would be even weirder if the game that they chose to bring back the Oilers uniforms was a game against Houston. That would be pretty weird. So I don't really have that much of a problem with the Titans bringing back the Oilers uniforms. I can see why people do, but I don't really have a problem with it. Another uniform that I would like to see brought back would probably be, let's see. Let's go around the league and think of some teams with some classic uniforms. I like the, obviously, I've always been more of a fan of the old Jets uniform. Well, I say old. They've only been old for a few seasons. The old Jets uniforms, the white helmets with the green stripe and the Jets logo on the side. I've always been a fan of that one. That's the jersey that I've always known. And then obviously over the past couple of seasons, they've rebranded to an all green helmet with a green jersey, green pants, and all that. Or not, maybe not green pants, but I don't really like it that much. I mean, it's grown on me a little bit. Their new uniforms. I say new. They've been around for a while, or a little bit now. So I don't. It's grown on me a little bit. I still probably will never get to the point where I think it's better a uniform than what they originally had, but I don't hate it as much as I did when they first announced it and stuff. So I don't know. I'd just like to see them bring back the original jerseys for maybe a game or two, because those jerseys are just better. They're just better. And I noticed that a lot of the jerseys that I've mentioned in today's video have been jerseys that I watched when I was growing up and watching football. And yeah, if you grew up in the 90s, you probably want to see all the jerseys and uniform combinations and helmets that they had in the 90s. If you grew up in the 80s watching football, you probably want to see the Kelly Green jerseys. I think that's what they call it, Kelly Green. The one with Ron Jaworski, the Eagles jerseys from that. You probably want to see them bring back that. If you grew up in the 90s, you probably want to see the Falcons jerseys, and you probably want to see the Giants jerseys, and you probably want to see all those jerseys, the Broncos, John Elway jerseys. So, and if you grew up in the 2000s like me, you probably want to see all the jerseys that I mentioned. I want to see the Chargers go back to their old jerseys with the LaDainian Tomlinson version of the jerseys, with the dark blue helmets and the gold, or I guess it wasn't gold, it was more yellow lightning bolt on the sides and stuff. That's the jersey that I grew up with the Chargers. That's what I knew the Chargers as, the Phillip Rivers early version of Chargers jersey. So those are the kind of jerseys that I grew up with, and so I'd like to see them go back to that. And I'd also like to see, one of the big ones that I would like to see is the Miami Dolphins old uniforms, the Ricky Williams, Ronnie Brown jerseys, Chris Chambers, all those guys, Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, all those guys. The jerseys that they wore in the early to mid 2000s with the Dolphin wearing the football helmet, Classic jersey. One of my favorite jerseys of all time, actually, is those old Miami Dolphins jersey. And I know that's weird to say because I'm a Patriots fan and the Dolphins are in the division and I hate the Dolphins, but I love those jerseys. Those jerseys are absolutely fire. They're clean. They look crisp. They're good. I like them. I don't know why they ever rebranded, but I wish they would bring those back. So those are some of my top jersey, helmet slash actual uniforms that I would like to see the NFL and those NFL teams bring back in 2022. Let me know down below if you guys have any other options, any other suggestions, any other jerseys that you would like to see them bring back, or if you guys have any favorite jerseys of all time. Let me know. Let me know what your favorite uniform combination helmet for NFL team is. I'd like to know what you guys are thinking. That's going to do it for me, though. Make sure to smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and the subscription button as well. Join the Juice Club, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.